Welcome to the rugged world of off-roading. This is the Motorade podcast, where off-roading myths go to die and real performance takes the wheel. In part 4 of this series, we expose the cracks in stock suspension systems. Today, we're going deeper into what happens after the upgrade, because building a capable 4x4 isn't just about throwing on the biggest lift kit, stiffest shocks. It's about finding the balance between control on tarmac and confidence on the trail. Whether you're cruising on highways with a lifted rig, crawling over rocks, or even driving an armored 4x4 that weighs twice as much, a poorly tuned suspension can make every drive a battle. We'll talk about the importance of tuning, load matching, and why working with an expert, someone who understands the science behind the steering, is what separates smooth operators from broken bump stocks. Stick around, because when your 4x4 is your daily drive, your overland escape, or your mobile fortress, balance isn't optional. So Clement, let's say that I've modified my suspension for my 4x4. I've decided to go off-road and I've put a good decent set of a lift kit and shocks and everything. And how would this affect handling on road? Let's say I'm not off-roading, like I'm on road like 5 days a week. Handling the curves, taking turns, it's a stiffer suspension when I upgrade. So it should be better when it's handling off-road, right?
We all have different feelings. I like my car to be stiff, some people like it to be soft.
Okay.
I have some people asking for flexi kits here, which I don't like to drive, for example, because the car will have a boat effect.
What is the flexi kit? Like, if you can explain.
Flexi kit, it's mainly for the rock crawling, so a lot of down travel.
Okay.
So a lot of extension travel.
Okay.
Then the coil springs are most of the time some variable rate coil springs or progressive coil springs.
Okay, so you've got variable rates of the spring.
So exactly,
okay.
The first few centimeters are extremely soft, and the shocks are very long travel shocks.
Okay.
After you can choose different kinds of shock,
Okay.
no matter if it's a twin tube IMS or a monotube reservoir shock.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, again, we are
for
all different.
on road, like you were saying, some people ask for these.
Yeah, because they like it.
Okay.
I don't like it. So it's hard to
Okay.
say, okay, you will like having the car like this. But what I can say is putting some off-road suspension will give a good stability to the car. This is the other way around. I have also some people saying that the car is stock and there is a lot of body roll on it. They don't like driving it. They don't feel comfortable. Or very often, this is something that very often here. My car is too stiff, and in fact, the car is too soft,
Okay.
way too soft, and
Okay.
reach the bump stop all the time. So you have that heat effect. I mean, the heat going on. So
Okay.
raising a bit the car and putting some bit stiffer shocks will give a good stability. Like you can take a roundabout, corner it, the car will remain flat.
Yeah.
That is also the importance of having everything adjusted properly. If you go in general, again, I don't want to generalize it, because if you go for a 1.5 inch lift, don't need to modify much and still will give it extremely good stability to the car.
So if I was a new customer, or if I was new to off-roading, I would not be able to make this decision myself as to which spring or which setup to choose. So then I come to someone like you and I explain to you exactly what I'm looking for. My car's too stiff or too soft, and then you, because of your history with all kinds of different 4x4s, you know exactly what kind of kit you need to install for the kind of thing that the customer is looking for.
There is one thing that matters as well that we didn't really spoke about.
Okay.
This is the budget.
Okay. Yeah.
We all have a different budget.
Oh yeah.
So this will also have the choices to be made.
Okay.
The coil spring, they're all pretty much the same price, and it's gonna be really for your car.
Okay.
For the weight that you have and what you do with it.
Okay.
Now, and the lift you want. So now comes with the shocks. For example, if you come to me with the, take the example of the Pajero, we have two streams of shocks. The twin tube, IMS, and the AMARE, monotube reservoir adjustable. IMS is an internal reservoir non-adjustable shock, and the twin tube, which is the oldest technology, which is used by the manufacturers as an OEM, but this one is it's stiffer and bigger. So this will depend again on what you do. Now, if you got the budget and you can go for a three-way adjustable shock absorber, this will allow you to have something, you can exactly set it for your needs. From a very soft to a very stiff, almost racing application.
Okay. Clement, when it comes to a few basic things like changing your bumper into metal bumpers, adding a winch, or maybe something not so basic like increasing the capacity of your fuel tank. I mean, these are modifications where a stock suspension just won't do, right? Because
100%.
Yeah. So, would a basic package from, let's say, Robinson's handle this kind of weight, or again it depends?
Of course.
Yeah.
Look, just to carry weight and go from a point A to B, you don't need the heavy setup. We also work with armoring companies a lot. And we provide them with the stock height suspension, which will carry way more load. We have some 79 series Land Cruiser that are up to 7 ton.
Wow.
So keeping the stock height, they usually only use the chassis. But yes, if you're a user and you're planning to put a bull bar, or especially here in UAE, there's a lot of custom fabrication on the bumpers, make sure what is the weight of it. Because the position, usually the position, of course, of the bumpers are not between the axles, they are either in the front and the back. Yes, and the fuel tank, depending on the vehicle, will also be in the back, behind the axle. Whatever is between the axles is okay, but whatever goes as far from the axle isn't that good for the weight. So the weight, when the vehicle, when the suspension compresses, will increase. So if you put a bull bar which weighs, let's say 50 kilos, and it's far forward, then the actual weight on the suspension is not 50 kilos. If you take your arm and you put 10 kilos here or 10 kilos there, that isn't gonna be the same, right? So the same thing is gonna happen with the winch, because it's usually mounted in the front. It is usually far forward from the grill.
It's at the extreme end.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is, if it's just for the weight, you don't really need to increase the height. Like, you don't need to lift your car. You have solutions that maintain the right height but increase the loading capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
this is exactly that.
And the height lift is basically just for your approach angle, your departure angle, stuff like that.
And if you want to fit bigger tires, it's for off-roading capacities. Again, taking the example of a 79 series Land Cruiser, you take the car bare stock from the factory, you can go in some crazy places. So yeah, most of the people either like overlanding very far, going to Africa, or you name it, long travels, which have very heavy cars. They don't want to lift it that much. They don't want big tires, because you're affecting directly the reliability of the car.
Oh yeah. So basically, for armored vehicles, you try to keep it as stock as possible when it comes to the dynamics of the car, but increase the weight.
Usually, there are different levels of armoring. I don't want to go too deep into it, because it's another subject which will go completely in different route.
You go off on a tangent,
but
like, let's say for a mining company, like if it's in mining.
And I mean, so many uses, ambulances, even some people, they just need to carry load. I mean, if you have horses If you are working, if it's a work truck, you have a pickup, and you know some guys, they build some canopies on it. It's a work thing. It's not something we often do here. This is extremely famous in Australia. So this kind of thing is, we don't call it lift kit. We call it a GVM upgrade. Okay, this is the gross weight mass increase. So on the 79 series, for example, we can have a 3,900 kilograms gross weight mass increase. So the car won't be, you can choose to have a lift if you want to, if you need to.
Necessary.
It's not necessary. You can keep the stock high. And same for the shocks. If you want to run some basic shocks, still I would recommend to go for a big bore shock, something that a bit stronger than the original ones. But it's not something that you need to have a big lift and some extremely heavy duty adjustable shocks. No.
A great suspension upgrade doesn't just survive the terrain, it works with you, not against you. Whether it's absorbing shock on a rocky climb or keeping body roll under control on a tight turn, your 4x4's performance is only as good as the thought that went into its setup. For heavily loaded or armored vehicles, that thought becomes mission critical. Getting the wrong setup can make your vehicle sluggish, unstable, or downright dangerous. Getting it right, that's where your build comes alive. So before you buy, bolt, or bounce, consult with someone who knows your terrain, your load, and your goals. Because when your 4x4 is dialed in right, there's no road too far and no trail too tough. Thanks for tuning in to the Motorade podcast. Fuel your drive. I'll see you in the next one.